Hi everyone, it's Team Time with Nathan. I wanted to talk about politics for a few minutes with you all, and I wanted to do it here rather than on my political page, but I wanted to do it in a video form so that if you don't want to hear me, you can just keep scrolling. Bye if you're leaving. Welcome to those who stay. Um, I've tried this video a few times this morning. My tea's actually getting a little lukewarm, but I start going on these long diatribes about, uh, you know, my political philosophies and why I'm so troubled about these things. I'm going to try and keep it a little more concentrated here. Uh, Biden is the president-elect. Biden will be the next president of the United States. And that is not something that's up for dispute. And those who do dispute it are actively and consciously undermining our republic. And there's no way to sugarcoat those words, and there's no other way to say it. Now, having been more in the center of the aisle generally until recently, I have friends on both sides, and I still talk to them. And it's weird to me the disconnect from reality that I am seeing from, frankly, so many of you who may be watching this video. And I don't want to say this from a place. This isn't me trying to attack. This is me just trying to wake people up because I don't get it. Because most of my conservative friends, I went to a conservative college, are very academically well-minded. They know the civics as well as I do. They understand the Constitution as well as I do. They had a moral. They were brought up with a similar morals that I am, and a similar sense of integrity. So I just don't understand why we're here, especially as one of the things that always frustrated me about the left when I was a kid is there was a sense that truth is not truth. Truth is abstract. It's whatever. We can't discern it. And someone's truth can be different for someone else. And that bothered the bejesus out of me as a theologian and a philosopher. But now I'm seeing that less and less on the left and more on the right. Initially, I thought that was maybe my own biases coming in because I don't like this president. I make no mistake about that. But we're really in a scenario where people are denying reality and they're denying truth. And here's the thing: we can absolutely justly be unhappy with reality. I've been unhappy with the reality for the past 4 years that Trump has been the president of the United States. Yes, some people have said that Trump is not my president. I have a little bit of issue with that phraseology in general, but you'll notice that those people weren't saying that he's not the president, not their president. So, granted, again, I have some issues with that, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because I'm trying to keep this video focused. But I really have issues when people say that Biden is not going to be the next president, because he is. Our system of government is built upon the principles of people with integrity checking other people with integrity in an ideal world, and a system where people with integrity check people without integrity in a potentially practical world, and with a nightmare scenario that people without integrity are checking people without integrity. I think this election has shown us how dangerously close we were to that worst case scenario. And while I do believe that ultimately Biden will be sworn in as the next president of the United States, and most of the conventional Republican leadership will fall in line, the damage is done. The faith is seriously injured. I mean, I'm that idealistic institutionalist who has a lot of faith in our institutions. And I have to say, this year has been very challenging for my faith in our civic institutions. And the sad thing is that I think that that may be one of the few points upon which I and a rabid MAGA supporter could agree. We don't trust the institutions. But I think the point of contention is different. I recognize that the failure of our institutions is not necessarily the institutions themselves, though there's certainly some room for restructure and reform, but rather the people who are running those institutions and who have been given those responsibilities. I've seen senators who I have respected since I was a teen, who I knew had principled visions, many of whom were very moderate and weren't afraid to stick it to their own party when they needed to, remain silent, or worse even, complicit in this plot to undermine the election. And while we've seen coordinated attacks from Russia, China, even Iran, to undermine America's faith in our republic and our elections process, I never thought I'd see the day when a president of the United States and one of the two major political parties of the United States would be the one spearheading it, while all these countries that want to do us ill just sit back and say, nah, you're doing a better job at that than we ever could. Because ultimately, it's internal attacks are a lot more difficult than external ones. And I don't know where we go from here if people will not accept this win. And I don't know where we'll go from here if Republican lawmakers are actively staying silent or actively saying that, oh, well, I can't guarantee people's safety, or not vociferously condemning things like white nationalism, white power, violence, QAnon. We're going to have a Congress where several people believe in a very outlandish conspiracy. And I don't know how much more our union can take. I like to believe that it can take a lot more, but I don't want to see that. So I guess the point of this video is we need to remember the apocryphal words that may or may not have been said by Benjamin Franklin. There's a story that he was approached by some woman who asked him if the Constitution had created this monarchy, or if it was a republic. And he's alleged to have responded, "A republic, madam, if you can keep it." And I don't know that we can keep it, because it's been disturbing over the past few months to watch people I really respected say that we should ignore the election results, that we should ignore the will of the people and have the state legislatures appoint their own electors that will vote for Trump. It's scary to see a once respected general argue that Trump should declare martial law and overturn the results of the election. That's some scary authoritarian stuff. And that's not me being hysterical. That's actually pretty exactly how authoritarian regimes work. And I fully believe that if we didn't have the constitutional safeguards that we have, they would have succeeded. But we can't rest on our laurels yet, because all's not done. Trump could run again in 2024, and we're going to have probably a very committed attempt to undermine this administration for the next 4 years, beyond the usual, politically acceptable undermining. And I don't know where we go from here. If even 30% of Americans genuinely believe that my vote for Biden should not count because it was a vote for Biden, I'm troubled by that. Because it inherently says to me that my value as an American citizen is less than theirs. And notice, again, I'm not saying we take away trump people's right to vote. Certainly not. I mean, they went to the ballot box. They did better than I expected, that's for sure. I think they did better than anyone expected. But at the end of the day, that's why we're a republic. We have differences of opinion. We come to the ballot box. We vote. There's a winner. If someone thinks the process was wrong, they take it to court. Guess what? Courts have been very clear. And even after the Supreme Court's acted, I still see this nonsense of people on my Facebook page peddling these well-debunked conspiracy theories and doing active harm to our democracy far more than any Russian troll could do. And it's frustrating. And one of the reasons I think I've just been so undirectional about politics right now is I don't know where the hell we are. I don't know where we're going. And it is hard for me to engage factually with people who do not recognize objective truth. It's like arguing with a relativist. This doesn't fit my facts, it's fake news. This doesn't fit my facts, it didn't happen. Someone I like said this, so that didn't happen, even though these people say that. It's madness. And I don't know how we wake up from it, but we need to. Because if we don't, this is going to be a poison in our republic that will last for generations. It's long past time, and I don't even know if there's time, but it's, I suppose, never too late for the Republican establishment to stand up and say, no, we are the party of the Republic. That's in our name. We're supposed to be the party for states' rights. Why are we suing other states to invalidate their election results that we didn't like? I thought that states set their election rules. Oops. Oh, I mean, it's hard. And it's easy, I think, in some respects, to laugh at it all. Be like, ha 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 ha, it's just hypocrisy. All these people are stupid. They don't really believe what they're saying. But the scary thing is yes, it is hypocrisy, but a lot of these people are not stupid at all. Some of these people are much smarter than me, that's for sure. And they believe what they're saying. And that scares me a heck of a lot more than the alternative. So we have to wake up and figure out some way to keep our republic. I don't know how that is. Don't know how it'll be done. But I'll keep my eye out and keep our republic in prayer. And pray particularly for a smooth and peaceful transition of power. To anyone out there who watched this whole video of me ranting, which thinks I just had to get that off my chest, and who genuinely has questions about things or genuinely wants to dialogue about things, feel free to hit me up. If you want to tell me that everything is fake news and I'm a part of the deep state and how Bob Barr is part of the deep state and all that, you can go on Parler and tell that to people to your heart's content. I've heard it all and it depresses me and I'm not very interested to hear it. And I think it's one of the first times in my life where I've had to just actually cut myself off from talking to certain people. Well, I used to be able to talk to basically anyone. I could talk to like a UKIPper, no problem. But I don't know. Let's not forget at the end of the day that it's all about truth, trying to do the best we can to find it, and being the best we can be as citizens and people. I don't know how we've lost sight of that.